Hello friends, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel if you're enjoying these videos. It's hard to believe that I started my YouTube channel 2 years ago. It feels like forever, but also just yesterday, and a lot of things feel like that for me. I don't know if it's just like getting older or what it is, but I'm here today to just give you guys an update on my violin journey. So I'm going to be saying some things that I've already said in the previous videos, but I'm also going to be updating you guys on the past year of my life and where my career and violin has taken me. So my first instrument was actually the piano. I started playing piano when I was 5. My mom was a musician. She played oboe, and she actually has her master's degree in choral conducting. So music was obviously very important to her. So she started me off on piano when I was 5. And it's funny because on one of my very first lessons with my piano teacher, I went and told my mom that, hey, we have the same birthday, and she totally didn't believe me. She asked my piano teacher, and it's true, we did have the same birthday. We ended up becoming very close, like him and my mom became very close friends, and this ring that I actually wear all of the time, he gave that to me because he didn't have any children of his own, and so he gave that to me. So yeah, so I started out on piano when I was 5, and then I started playing violin when I was 7. I was a Suzuki student. I cannot really remember much of how I was taught when I was younger. I went to a small private school, so there was not a ton of other people that also played instruments. I took lessons right there at the school. My mom was a single mom, so it was, obviously more convenient for her to just let me stay after school and take my lessons and whatever. But she did come to all of my lessons when I was young. I remember that, and she took a notebook. I think, or she took notes in a notebook. I think it's been since lost. I wish I had that, but anyway. So I started taking lessons, and about maybe 1 or 2 years after I had started taking lessons, another teacher came to the school and tried to build up the Suzuki program. He tried to start a group class. I had some people or some girls in my class that started, and I remember I was just so far ahead of them, right? Because I'd already been playing for 2 years, and they were on their box violins, and I was so bored that I told him that I quit the group class without even talking to my mom or anything like that. But yeah, so I played all through school. We did have a small orchestra at my school that I was a part of, and it was just a lot of fun. We just got to play fun music, and I just really enjoyed playing. When I entered, I believe it was, I want to say 7th grade, my mom really saw that I was interested in it, and I was still a kid, so it's not like she never told me to practice. I was always good about practicing and stuff. No, I was a normal kid. My mom had to tell me to practice and all that stuff, but she saw that I enjoyed it, and I started to have lessons with someone in the Houston Symphony. So I took lessons from her for a couple years, and then I guess in the midst of this, I started high school. I was in 9th grade at that regular school, or my normal school. And then in 10th grade, I transferred to the High School for the Performing and Visual Arts in Houston, Texas. I loved this school. First of all, because I came from a private school, going to a public school, it was so much more relaxed. I didn't have to wear my uniforms anymore. I could paint my nails. I could dye my hair. I literally dyed a streak of my hair blue and wore flip-flops and sweatpants all the time. Even sometimes didn't wear shoes just because I was I don't know, but anyway. So at our school, we basically played for half the day and then had regular school for half the day. So I was taking orchestra and chamber music and theory classes as well as the regular academics. And all of my friends played violin, or not violin, but they played an instrument, right? And that just made everything so much fun. We would play all the time. We would practice together. We literally have practice parties where we would go over to someone's house and like practice together, and it was just a very social thing, and it was very, very fun. At this time as well, I was going to music camps in the summer, so I went to Eastern Music Festival, I went to Madeline Island Music Camp, I went to Domaine 4J Music Camp in Canada, and again, it was so much fun. And that's the whole reason why I decided to go into music, is because it was fun. So my senior year of college, I started taking lessons with Frank Huang. Frank Huang was the new concert master of the Houston Symphony at the time. He's now the concert master of the New York Philharmonic. Incredible teacher, a beautiful sound. If you've never heard him play, definitely look him up here on YouTube, because he's an amazing player, and I just really, really enjoyed my lessons with him. I applied to colleges my senior year of high school, and I was accepted to some really good places like Eastman and Cleveland, but I ultimately decided to go to Manhattan School of Music. And you might be thinking, well, Megan, wait, you didn't go to Manhattan School of Music. And you would be right. So what happened was, unfortunately, Manhattan School is like $60,000 a year. And I couldn't get a loan, basically. So I didn't go, and I took a year off, and I basically just practiced the whole day. I'd practice like 5-6 hours a day and not do really much else. I was involved with 2 youth orchestras at that time, and I won 2 concerto competitions, and I got to play with 2 different orchestras, which was very fun, but also very scary, but definitely one of the highlights of my musical career. Just playing with an orchestra is like the epitome of playing a concerto, you know. So I auditioned for schools again. I got into, again, some really good schools, and my choices, well, I narrowed it down to like Jacobs School of Music in Indiana or UT. And I decided to go to UT because I knew I'd be able to afford it. So I went to UT, and I did not have the greatest time at UT. It was a mix of different things. First of all, it was partially my fault. I was like, you know, I never lived on my own before. I was doing the typical college thing. I don't think I really need to get into any more detail, and just not practicing a lot. And because I wasn't practicing, I obviously wasn't feeling good about my playing. It was also very hard to make friends at UT because the music school was primarily made up of people that are doing their doctorate degree or masters. So like I was 19 at this time, and most of the people were like 25, 30. So it was very hard to make friends. So I had a pretty rough like first 2 years. The third year, my junior year, I was like, okay, well, I have to give a junior recital, so I better start, you know, practicing again. And things got better. And then my last year, my senior year, I practiced a lot because I was auditioning for master's degrees. Honestly, because I didn't know what else I was gonna do. I was scared. I thought that was a logical next step, so I went for my master's, and I applied to a bunch of different places. And pretty much had it narrowed down to Boston Conservatory or DePaul. And I chose DePaul because it gave me good financial aid. So I moved to Chicago in 2017. Oh, let me backtrack a little bit. While I was at UT, I did volunteer with the UT String Project, which is basically an organization that teaches college students how to teach. It's an amazing program. I was only involved with it for like a semester, but that's where I first like started my teaching experience. When I moved to Chicago, I got a job immediately at a school that I actually still teach for there, and I was teaching group classes in the school. So I'd go like twice a week and teach group class, and it was good experience, you know. My master's degree was a lot better than my undergrad. First of all, because it was a lot easier to make friends. I was in a better place, and the people there were my age. So I had definitely a better experience. Wouldn't say it was the best, but I think that was just my own fault. Like, I don't think that I ever want to go back to school. Like, for me, school, there's just so much like busy work that you have to do, you know, that takes up so much time, but you're not really getting anything done, which is so annoying to me. You know, I'd rather work on my own projects. But anyway, so yeah, so I was teaching in the schools. I also started to teach privately with that company there. And then I graduated in 2019. And I was kind of like, okay, what do I do now? You know, I'm pretty sure we've all felt that at some point in our lives. So I started applying to jobs, and I was very lucky, very fortunate to get a full-time teaching position with another company in Chicago. So this company was unique because it offered daytime teaching hours. And if you are a teacher, you know that a lot of your work is done at night, right? Because people are off of work or off of school or whatever. So this was a daytime teaching position. I had salary, I had health care. So pretty much the ideal situation, you know, right out of school. So I was very, very grateful to get that job. Now that job, I was very grateful, like I said, but it was hard in a couple of different ways. So the first way was that I didn't have a car, so I was like using public transportation, and the schools were far. Like they would take me at least an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, 2 hours one way. So that was already like a lot of time that I was spending on the bus or the train. Second thing was that the students didn't really care all that much. So I was having to do the same thing week after week, which is no fun. You know, when you're a teacher, it's no fun for anybody, right? Because then you just get frustrated. And the days were long. Like it was like 8, 9, 10-hour days, which I still do, but it's easier because I'm at my house. But anyway, we'll get there. Jumping ahead of myself. So that was actually the year that, you know, COVID hit. So everything shifted online, of course, and that's when I started my social media. And that's when I started this YouTube channel. I had always wanted to do social media, but I don't know, I guess never felt I could. I am not a huge social media person, like just for my own like personal like social media, I guess. Like I've never really post. But yeah, so I just decided to try it out, and man, I'm so glad that I did. You know, I got a really good response. I started teaching people online that summer. I guess it was summer of 2020 is when I created my first course, the Complete Bow Technique Manual. I also did the Complete Left Hand Technique Manual, and I also did a vibrato course. Going into 2021, which is pretty much where we left off at the end of the last video, I was very grateful to work with someone where we basically created a course where I was helping teachers learn how to teach in English. So that was very cool. In March of 2021, I started my partnership with Jenny O'Connor. If you've never heard me talk about her before, she's an amazing violinist. You should go search her on YouTube. But basically, I started teaching a class for her. That was in March, and then what did I do after that? Oh yeah, and then over the summer I ran the Violin Intensive. That was a huge success. I was very happy with you know, the response from that, where we learned meditation from Thais. That summer I moved here to New Jersey, and the move was challenging because I didn't necessarily want to, like, I loved living in Chicago, I really did. Unlike when I was living in Austin, I didn't really like living in Austin, so I kind of wanted to move, but it was hard to move, and I was kind of worried that, I don't know, that it just wouldn't be the same, I guess, but it's the same and better. So I love living in this house. I know this doesn't really have anything to do with my violin journey, but I moved. That's a part of my journey, and I started teaching at a new school. So I teach at a school here now twice a week, and I also teach a good number of students online. I'm continuing my partnership with Jenny. We have 2 classes going right now, actually. I'm currently in the middle of the second violin intensive where we are learning chartes. I am doing the 100 days of practice. I had never done the 100 days of practice before. I'm on day like 71 or something like that, which is awesome. It's made me feel really good about my playing skills. Obviously, when you're not practicing, you're not going to feel good about your playing, right? So that's been a really good push for me. And I'm actually in the process of creating my next course, which is going to be a bot course. And I created like a bunch of Suzuki classes or courses. I created a musician practice planner. So I've done a lot, and I'm very happy with where I am now. It is a little scary though, because this isn't necessarily a conventional path, and I don't have that stability of working a real job. But like I said before, I want to do things that I'm passionate about, you know? And when I'm working for myself, I can do what I want, and I'm more motivated to do that, and I work harder than ever before. So I'm super proud of where I'm at right now, but I can't wait to see where I am in a year. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, you know, about my journey or anything you want me to make a video on, definitely drop them below. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.